Hello world. So it is, well, it's night, and today has been crazy. Awesome, but crazy. So you'll read my post from this morning. Read it, watch my post from this morning, and it's weird. um, and so I guess hope you enjoy that. I hope you enjoyed my spoken word from last night. I'm going to see if God will let me do another one tonight. We'll see. I'm thinking about panic attacks. That'd be a good one to do. Break that lie, you know. I don't feel like reading a passage from the Bible, though the Lord may go tapping on my door. Who knows? Couple of really cool things happened today. So I did Instacart. Got a couple orders in. Very blessed. I have a possibility of housing viewing tomorrow, which I am crossing my fingers and praying to God that this is it, but it feels really right, even though it's kind of terrifying and scary. But it is exactly everything I wanted. Well, most. um, but it feels like a puzzle piece that's kind of fitting into place, and it's perfectly opportunistic. And I found out I have enough for the deposit and for the application fee, and that's just like a huge weight off my shoulder, but I still have to work hard for that first month's rent, and my pet fee because she's coming with me. So I still have to really, really work hard, and I am kind of worried, will they accept me amidst the COVID-19 pandemic and my Instacart job? That's something I'm kind of concerned, but they kind of seem to be a more what's the word for it? More laid back, kind of relaxed, kind of realty organization company. So I have my fingers crossed and praying to God that this is it and it will work out. But they told me basically that after the viewing, if I really like it, I can set a deposit down. So that's promising in my books. But who knows what it could look like? It could be Roach Patel again. I've been there, done that. But I'm just super excited. It feels really promising, like I said, and it really excites me because it not only allows like dogs, but it also allows cats, and I've always wanted a cat of my own. I haven't had one for a while, so that could happen in the future. Plus, she needs a friend because she's so attached to my roommate's dog, which is gonna break my heart. And she's attached to the yard. She loves that yard. It's gonna break her heart to leave this place, but I think we're both kind of ready for a change, for a good change, for something exciting, our own place to decorate and set up and really be ours. So we're really hoping. But other exciting thing was I found out my parents were having a hard time, and the Lord really burdened me with that. And so I reached out to my leaders, my small group leaders yesterday night, and they were willing to set up some way to communicate with them and pray for them. And it was amazing. Like, it was God reaching through the phone lines to each one of us and just moving. Like, I wish I could have seen it. Well, it would have been just so cool to just physically see. Sorry, I'm getting shivers. Just to physically see that, God's hand reaching through that. I mean, it's truth. Like, even though we're in this virtual world, God can reach right through this screen and touch you right now. And he did it for my mom. He actually started healing her back. She's like, my back is warm. And we're like, oh, we didn't pray for that, but okay, let's go with it. So we prayed some more. And I just felt, it was crazy because as we were praying, I just felt this overwhelming laughter and joy just take me over. And we're just on a phone conversation. And that's Jesus. It was so awesome. And my mom told me, like, I could tell immediately that happened. I was like, whoa. And when I heard the prayers, the phone lines, I was like, Jesus is in the room. He is on this phone line. He is picked up. He has got this call. I still will continue to pray and really push hard for full physical healing for my father. But it was awesome to see that God was already moving with my mom. So that was pretty cool. And it was really cool to have my small groups, step outside our small group per se, and really reach out to one of the members' families. And it mattered enough that they took the time to really not just reach out and pray, but have a conversation, interact. And it just meant so, so much to me. Just that my group would do that, and my friends and my fellow Christian brothers and sisters. Like, I've never had people like these before. And I just feel so overwhelmed and incredibly blessed because I care a lot about them. And it shows that they really care about me. And it's one thing to say, I love you, or I care about you, or, you're God's child, and I love the way I see things. But it's another when they're like, your family's our family, or what happens outside, matters to us. And I've never really had that before, so that was really cool to see. I guess God's kind of lesson has been kingdom in action. I mean, that one night, that was amazing. Kingdom in action. And then tonight, a different form of kingdom in action, virtual-wise. But Jesus can reach through screens, so do not think he cannot heal you, because I could pray right now, and we'll see if Jesus heals you. But it was kind of weird, but cool too, because at the end, my mom was just like talking about the crazy difference in me. And I was like, well, it's my group, but it's also Jesus. But my group did a lot of work, spiritually wise, on me. I was pretty much an unformed piece of clay, kind of pounded. And my group kind of surrounded me and really started putting structure and form to me, and breathing in the right things. So my group has a lot of credit. Jesus, most of the credit, but my group has a lot of credit. And they're pretty amazing. So if you don't have amazing friends and people and that care about you and show it and show the kingdom in action for you, definitely go find some, because there's nothing like it. I mean, they're my family. They're my extended family, my Christian family. But they're just so much more than that, It's pretty special. And then, the other thing that happened that was really cool was I was doing an order, and I love replacing items, and I love treasure hunting, Easter egg hunting, however you want to call it. And the Lord did it tonight. I was getting so frustrated. He just humbles you so quickly. I was getting so frustrated and upset about that this person did not want anything replaced. They wanted it all refunded. And when it's refunded, it affects my payout, I found out. So I was getting so frustrated, and I'm like, seriously, another refund? And I found a way around some of them, but for the most part, it was a lot of refunds, because the stores are empty, and certain stores, I do know by now, are not good choices, because they just are empty. Excuse me. So that was really frustrating. And then I was looking for this peanut butter. And yeah, it was a simple thing of peanut butter. But there was one on the shelf, right there. And I was like, yeah, I saw that, Lord. Yep, you did that for me. And I was still grumbling, still upset. And I kind of was throughout. I was like, why am I even here? Why am I even doing this order? They don't have nothing for her. Well, I thought it was a him, because it sounded like a male's name, but it was actually her. Oops. But they didn't have anything for her. It was out, can I replace this? And it was just really frustrating, because it went from an item of 40 items to 20 items. And that's a huge difference. And I also felt bad because customers, they expect us to find these items. They expect us to have these items. And when we can't, it's disappointing not only for us, but it's disappointing for them especially. Because this is their grocery list. This person needed flour. I had to tell her the flour shelves were empty. I had to tell her that this was empty. And I've really learned how to really treat my customers a certain way so they are honored and so they are respected. But even through my frustration and my ungratefulness, I found a way to honor and respect. But I was like, my pleasure. Yeah, right. Yeah, that was really not a good thing. But I was in that mentality. I was like, but I went up to the register, and I asked this lady, because I've been really working on better communication and being social. And I talked to this lady who's bringing up my items, and I've seen her before. She didn't recognize me, but I recognized her, because I was in that store two, 3 times in one day. So I knew her by then. But she didn't recognize me. But I asked her, how was your day? And she just looked at me. She's like, don't even ask. And that just shocked me. I was like, oh, okay, how do you respond to that? And she's just like, it was awful. And I was just like, oh my word, like, how do I speak into this? How do I show love? And I felt like, even though I didn't see it at the moment, I look back now and the Lord was tapping me on the shoulder and he's like, go bag those items. And I was like, do you mind if I bag these items for you? She looked at me and I was like, where are your paper bags? She's like, what? And I was like, where's your paper bags? And she's like, they're over there. She's kind of looked at me kind of weird. So I went over, got those paper bags, started bagging my items. And she's like, thank you. It was just kind of like, I didn't have the words in the moment to really make her day better. I'm pretty sure I was one of the last few customers because the store is closing. So when does that want me to speak tonight? And I'm shaking. So, but it was just such a humbling experience from through it all, like just the simple act of me saying, hey, can I bag these items? And I found out she hates bagging paper. I didn't know that, but for me, as what is the right word? Ooh. I can't think of the right word. Apologize. But as the person who's going to give my clients, their orders, I prefer paper because it's a good presentation. It's neater. It's also thicker. So if the stuff is out in the sun, it stays cooler better and it looks better and it's sturdier and you can pack a lot more. So I choose paper over plastic anytime. And plus plastic rips, it's just different, That's just my preference. And I found out she does not like paper. And by me just simply like, no problem, I work retail. I don't think she fully heard me in that, but I basically told her like, I work retail. This is no problem. Like, I know how to bag things. I can probably bag things a lot better than a lot of people because I am very particular. Like, eggs goes with eggs. You do not throw frozen with dry. Like, no. Like, you don't put meat with produce. Like, huh? Just simple things like that and tricks of the trade. And you double the bags up for cans, I found out. Did not know that one. Learned that one today. Which is actually really helpful. And you put, juice and milk and that in plastic bags because it just is gonna melt a paper bag, it just makes no sense. Those paper bags would keep it cooler, easier. I still like plastic in that sense. But yeah, it was just really cool because I didn't hear God's voice and I didn't feel tapping, but I just sensed that I should go bag these items for her. And I look back and now I see God in it. But it was just so cool. Like, I was able to bless her. And she actually started, like, smiling a little and kind of really relaxing. And even though there was a customer behind, she totally, like, ignored. And at one point, she did turn her attention to him. And he was awful. He was like, I'm not pulling this water up from the bottom of my cart for you to scan. And I almost wanted to go up to his face and be like, dude, I will take that water and hand it to her. Like, there was no call for his attitude or anything. And this poor lady, she's tired and she's trying to just get him through the line so she can go home. He's one of the last few customers. I really wish I had confronted him because he was just being ridiculous. But I didn't. Instead, I guess I kind of turned the other cheek. I finished packing my bags. I smiled at her and said, I hope you have a blessed day. I just looked at the guy then and walked out. But if he pushed himself any further, I probably would have stood up and said something to him, which is crazy because that's not typically me. But his attitude was uncalled for in that moment, and I felt it. And I was like, mister, you're stepping on a tight line right now, You're not treating her respectfully. You're acting like that you're better than her. There is no reason that guy could not bend down, pick up that water, and have her scan it instead of screaming over the glass shield they now have in the stores. Instead of screaming over that he has 2 waters and type it in. Like, who does he think he is? That just saddened me. But I was glad I was able to bless her and really enunciate the blessing. I hope you have a blessed day. And I waved at her and headed out the door. Now, if that made a huge difference, I hope so, that she could finish the night in a better mood, or at least know that someone cared. I mean, I'm in that store often enough. If I don't start making myself known as someone who's approachable and kind and compassionate, I'm not going to be a fun Instacart shopper for people. I'm not going to be good to go in those stores and ruin people's days. Like, why would I want to do that? It's actually really funny anymore because I walk through these stores and I have my phone out, and that's just how you do Instacart. You have your phone out, what do you write them? You scan it real quick and put it in your cart. I can't tell you how weird it is now that this is the norm to shopping. There are no grocery lists. There are not, most people in the stores right now are Instacart or Shipt or some other form of delivery grocery service because they're all out there like this the whole time. You know, and most of them, no offense to them, cannot do well. This poor guy, he's like, where's the cauliflower? I'm like, sir, calm down. Kroger items are right here. Look down. If it's not there, just ask if you can replace. And I'm just like, it's that simple. But other people are just like scanning and scanning. And now like it is really hard because the shelves are empty. And you have to replace a lot of items. And you have to refund. And you have to apologize. And I don't find any harm in saying, I apologize that this item is currently out of stock. Would you like me to replace it with this? Or something. I like to always add, I apologize. For a simple fact that like, even though I'm not like, oh, I'm sorry, you know, I'm so sorry. I'm not like that. I'm just like, I apologize. This is the situation. How would you like me to handle it? So that's kind of the approach I take. And my favorite words are no problem. I did perfect today, though. That was a new one. That was actually kind of fun. I had one customer that was being a lot of fun. He was like a fruit nut. I have never gotten so much fruit in a cart in my life. Like, he had, I don't know how many applesauces, how many yogurts. Like, fruit was everything. I was like, does this guy even eat a vegetable? It's really funny. People are funny. But this guy was a fruit nut. Absolute fruit nut. And he was just so much fun to shop for. And at a certain point, I was having so much fun communicating with him because I'm constantly communicating. And he's the first one I actually did let know that I started incorporating into my, you know, hello, whoever it is. I am, you know, your personal shopper for the day. You know, if you have any questions or want to adjust your order, let me know, kind of thing. But even I added the end because I had this one lady who was not responding to me. And it was kind of like, can't really do my job if you're not responding, lady. But so I was able to actually like then add an end. I will be communicating with you consistently about replacing and that. And so this was the first guy I did that for. And he was really on top of it for the most part, which was really fun. Because at one point I was like, well, how do you want me to replace this? You know, I'm at the store and it's pretty bare. So I'm like, how do you want me to replace this? And he's just like, yeah, anything you want to do. I'm like, perfect. How does this sound? And it was a lot of fun because I was like, okay, I have flexibility. And I love flexibility. I love being able to be like, okay, they don't have this item. Well, let me see. How about this item? Does this item work for you? Perfect. All right, let's keep going. And that's kind of how I do it. And it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of craziness, but a lot of fun. But back to the story. Sorry, I sidetracked and rabbit trailed. And I am going long. Whoopsies. Not sorry. But back to the storyline though. Like after I left, I went to this lady's house, and once again I got frustrated because this lady had me right clear out this Kroger, had, you know, I couldn't find what I was looking for. It was constantly refunding. I knew my payout would be way less. And I can't find her house because it's pitch black. I didn't realize that fact. I am lost in the dark. Like, I can navigate dark just fine, but don't ask me to find a house in the dark. And my GPS would not locate this house worth anything. So I end up on this corner and I'm like, I apologize. I can't find your house. It is dark. And I finally just start backtracking, like literally backing up down this road. And I make a U-turn and I just slowly like start following the map and just counting houses. And next thing I know is this lady out in the driveway just waving at me. And I'm like, it's a person. It's an actual person. It sounds silly, but no one ever comes out of their houses until after I leave. And that was just, she just waved at me and she's like, oh, you know, what if you're not even a Kroger person? And I'm just laughing as I'm like, I am. And I deliver her groceries and she's actually there in physical form. And she's not a ghost, you know, hiding behind the door. And her door's open, she doesn't care, you know. And then she kind of points to the side, I'm like, and I look, and there's a little baggie, and it has some money in it. And it's an extra tip. She didn't put it on her thing, but she left a little baggie. And I almost cried because I was so ungrateful. I was so rude, even though, like, not to her, but I was so rude to the fact of what I was doing and so disrespectful. The Lord humbled me in that second. It was like, whoa. And I just felt like immediate guilt and regret. And I'm like, this cannot happen again. You know, it's not about the paycheck. I am doing this as a ministry. I'm doing this as serving and caring. And this lady, she was fine. She was fine seeing me, and she didn't, 6 feet distance, of course. But she just waved at me, smiled, and was just, like, so thankful. She asked me, like, I really need flour. And I'm like, I'm sorry, we were completely out. And we had a little bit of conversation. And that does not happen normally because, like, people are hiding behind their doors and waiting for you to leave. And then they might wave at you. Usually I like to sit in the driveway a little bit to make sure that they do get their groceries, because it's possible they don't get the notice and then their groceries are sitting out in the sun. And that's not good for milk or eggs or anything dairy. So a lot of times I get waves or some smiles or thumbs up or something. And that's sweet. This is the first time I actually had a physical person. So that was really cool. And she just was so really blessed and so touched that I did this for her. And that was I was just so humbled. And I was like, okay, I have to get this, I have to write a post on this. So I did write a short little post because I knew I was going to do a video afterwards about it. But I see that the Lord took a whole different route on this video than I had planned. So before it goes any longer, I should say good night, world, that I love you. And remember, God is good. Be humble. Stay humble. Better. Be kind. Be respectful. Be compassionate. You don't know what people are going through. You just don't. Even if you're afraid, be kind. Be respectful. Be compassionate. Be grateful. Be appreciative. And just love others. It's really that simple. Love others and find ways to put the kingdom into action, because it's really cool when it is. All right. Well, I'll see you later, world. Bye.